Yeah.
Meanwhile, the world outside is a lot quieter now. But I still hear the cries.
He was like inches from my face, basically, yelling that I should call him sergeant, I should call him sir, and with no mask on, he had no gloves on.
The vaccine will one day kill the virus.
We need you to understand, especially in communities of color, we need you to step up and help stop the spread so that we can protect those who are most vulnerable. Stay at home if possible. We need you to do this, if not for yourself, then for your abuela. Do it for your granddaddy. Do it for your big mama. Do it for your pop-pop.
But who will save Black lives?
These days feel like a young boy can't do anything right. Too many in the street locked up, what you know about that life? Used to be so scared, the whole world trying to steal my light. But they don't know, I'm Black Superman. Don't gotta be a doctor to see the sickness around. Don't gotta be a genius to know they're still on your ground. Used to be so scared, the whole world trying to bring me down. But they don't know, I'm Black Superman. Oh, most tonight I'm gonna touch the sky. Running faster than the speed of light. Don't let nobody be my kryptonite. I'm Black Superman, just Superman tonight. I'm Black Superman, just Superman tonight. Some nights fall asleep to the sound of a blood-curdling scream. Grown man, young boy shot down by the hand of police. And I get so scared that one day that'll be me. And they won't know, I'm Black Superman. How many more days are we gonna take this shit life? Today, right now, I'ma have to man up and fight. And I feel so scared, but I know that I'm doing right. And they don't know, I'm Black Superman. Touch the sky, running faster than the speed of light. Don't let nobody be my kryptonite. I'm Black Superman, just Superman tonight. I'm Black Superman, just Superman tonight. gonna touch the sky. Running faster than the speed of light. Let nobody be my kryptonite. I'm like Superman, just Superman tonight.
Hi everyone, we're here with the team behind Black Superman. Looking forward to hearing a little bit about the behind the scenes life of this show. So just to give everyone a little bit of background, the idea behind this project was that creators were tasked with creating a piece that was created during the quarantine and had an aspect of music as part of the piece. Can you tell me a little bit about how you started to figure out what story you wanted to tell and where the idea for this show came from?
I think this project had two lives. I mean, back in 2017, Charles and I had recorded a song called Black Superman, and with Tony, we put together a music video that really was meant to talk about Black lives and empowerment for Black men in particular, especially in light of systemic violence that's been perpetrated against us by police. But it was really kind of a hopeful song. We had a narrative that you can see from part of the video that we submitted for this project. And then we thought, okay, well, this idea of Black death is extremely relevant, not only in light of systemic violence by police, which is really relevant today, but also because COVID has affected Black communities at a rate that is really atrocious and terrible, that also highlights the systemic oppression that we're facing, right? The center of the center of the epidemic is in the Bronx.
Where I am, in the South Bronx. And so it just seemed that the piece that we had started, or some of the footage that we had started, we could rework and then ultimately grow out of that a piece that's relevant. I agree with Chris. I mean, Chris lives in Harlem, I'm here in the Bronx, and it's, death is here. So then we call Tony and say, Hey, Tony!
And I mean, Chris, you talked about this project having two lives. I feel like it had three, because just in the last week, I think the scope of what I kind of wanted to bring to it changed. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, I think I was responding to the medical crisis, and I mean, as well as, I was relating that to what I think we were initially kind of covering, which was Black lives in light of police brutality and whatnot. and then it kind of came back around to that. I think in this last week, it's kind of moved through its third life.
What was interesting, different, challenging about creating something when you couldn't be in the same room together?
I mean, we just talked about the 3 lives of the piece, particularly because it said something. I think it was strong in some of the footage, and the song in itself were strong before, just figuring out what we were all trying to say together. Particularly since, I primarily on this project, I was the composer, also responsible for some of the sound cues. There are not very many on it, but just figuring out, where we want sound. Do we want a glitch sound here where the image glitches? Do we want this? I mean, we talked about things like, is this going to be, I had responded to some of the things that Tony had worked on originally for this iteration in this project. And I said, oh, it's comic book-esque to me, aspects of it. And Tony's like, well, wait a minute now, is that what we're going for? I mean, this is real life. And so just really being aligned with and centered on the message. I think the communication has been great. I love this team. We've been working together for years, and
it really kind of unfolded really organically, and it was a conversation between all of our points of view, and I guess in certain ways I didn't know how to feel about it. I think it was really hopeful, and I knew that the piece was a hopeful piece, but I felt kind of a tension with it in some ways, and so I think I wound up kind of pairing it with imagery that I felt took the lyric in a different direction, and kind of pointed out to me the kind of impossible choice that Black people are given right now.
The impossible choice, yes.
So and that's just the way that we work, and we just have that relationship where we can toss things at each other, and even where I feel like sometimes I'm like, I don't know quite what to think of that. I don't know, it just kind of made me think about this piece deeper, and then kind of bring, I don't know, just a different color to it.
Could you talk a little bit about what that impossible choice is?
The choice between staying home and not being able to feed your family, and going out and being able to do that. There's so many layers to it, and there's one image in the video where I put, it's like a maybe second long clip of the Surgeon General, and he's showing you how to make a mask, and over that I superimposed an image of the medical, what's it called? Oh, I'm blanking. The rod and the snake.
But that point about the choice, you started with this choice about staying home and working, is one that all Americans, right, are dealing with, right? This is the Lives Matter thing. But I think that the choice is particularly pronounced for Black people. I was writing notes here because the virus has disproportionately affected us, our health, our communities, our economy, and politically, social distancing, we're the ones who are being policed on social distancing. So when you take all of those things and add to it Black death at the hands of police, boom. It's insane. The rage. Charles and I were talking about this in March. I'm in Harlem, and together we walked out from where I am, 135th Street, all the way down to a grocery store we frequent, like Frederick Douglass and 116th. What we noticed is that this area, which is probably 60-40, maybe 70-30 Black-white, was now 100% Black. All the white people were gone. They were either hunkered down in their apartments, or they had left. And the New York Times confirms that many people left the city. What you had on the street mostly were men smoking weed, drinking, no masks, just angry. Nowhere to go. This false choice. Charles talks about how workers or people who are out there are considered heroes or being called heroes. Like, no, these mostly are Black and brown people who are making it possible
for you to be at home.
For you to be at home, to hunker down in your apartment. Oh, well, thank you so much. You delivered the food. Thank you.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
You're a hero. You're a hero for doing that. I mean, yes, but no. There's this. It's just the narrative is insane.
The mantra that I've been saying, the thing I've been saying is, I don't want to be a hero. No, because what you're saying is you're in the front lines. You're the front line for me, and it profoundly disturbs me. Yeah.
but then, of course, the irony is that we called our piece Black Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is what I was trying to work out. The piece feels like initially, or maybe when I was thinking about it initially, it was about bigging us up, making us feel good,
strong,
Black men, and strong. But really, what I'm saying is that Black people are human beings, which bears repeating. Black people are human beings, and we deserve a system that preserves our lives too.
This project allowed us a platform to be heard. That to me is, people are protesting and marching. I do have to really fundamentally think about my role here, and I think that that aligns me for me personally as an artist, and I think that is something that I connect with, and I revel in being part of this project.
I just want to say their names: Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and countless others. To love this country, as I try not to do, but here I am, I do. And to be aggressively and systemically rooted against and murdered. It's not just frustration, it's profound sadness. This movement needs art, and so I am pleased that we were able to do that. That's maybe the joy I get out of this, that we were able to do art for this movement because it needs it, and we have more to do. But at this moment, I'm not hopeful or joyful about America because I'm in pain. I've shouted, I've cried, I've cursed, I have marched. And I do the art to avoid doing something stupid that truly might. But we also know that no degree, no situation will protect us. You could even be in your house. That's tough to stomach.
I feel actually really kind of hopeful in I don't know, in the last couple of days, and just sort of seeing and reflecting this expression of Black rage. I don't know why, but for me, it's actually kind of, I guess it's just cathartic, but
sure.
It's hopeful, and I think if anything, I feel troubled by the fixation in the news on the loss of property. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care about that. And I am actually kind of glad that I had a chance in the last day or two to kind of, for me, add that viewpoint.
Yes.
And kind of like ask the viewer to re-examine what this rage is about, and just to kind of put it in perspective in terms of what we should be rageful about, which is the loss of Black lives.
I feel that, art is power. I'm just grateful to have the three of you sharing your voice with us today, right now, and we look forward to what you do next in the future. We'll be following.